Jamie Brown Hantman is veteran White House aide, author of the new book, Heels in the Arena, Living Purple in a Red, Blue Town. Hey, Jamie, thanks for coming in so early. I had no idea.
Oh, Joe,
I always tell
thanks.
Frank, leave the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, just us, because there's so much business. But I know you came in this early. And are you okay with that? It's not too early?
My dog is usually waking me up about now, so this is preferable.
What kind of dog do you have?
We have a beagle.
I had a beagle.
You
The name of the beagle was Flopsy.
Oh.
I remember Flopsy, my little beagle. The cutest dog.
Yeah.
What's the name of your dog?
Gus.
Gus? Good.
Yeah.
Gus is better than Flopsy, I think so. I love the shoes.
Thank
can,
you.
Can you show this to the camera? Can we do that?
How do I do that?
Just right
Like
there. There you
this?
go.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Look at those shoes, Miss Silver. They're sneaks. They're silver and shiny silver. Who makes those shoes?
It's a fancy name.
What?
They're the Balenciaga sneakers.
This is like
Yeah.
fancy designer
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
This is all right. Well, that looks
Sorry.
good. Hey, welcome. So tell us, what's the book about? Heels in the Arena, Living Purple in a Red, Blue Town.
So it's my memoir. Usually when people hear Washington memoir, they think it's going to be some really self-bloviating, name-dropping sort of thing. I tried to do the opposite of that. I did my best to make it very self-deprecating and to sort of puncture what people think of when they think of a DC memoir.
Yeah, let me show the book if
Sure.
I can. We want to make sure we plug it for you. Look at this is the book Heels in the Arena. This is a woman, of course, working within Washington. Is it tough still even nowadays? It looks like President Trump, among all the presidents, seems to be employing more women. I see more women running everything. Kellyanne Conway on down to his daughter and everything else. But I guess it's still tough for a woman in Washington.
It's much less tough than I think it was for my mom's generation. I mean, I feel very fortunate. I think some people paved the way, and I felt more opportunity than limits.
Yeah, it's so funny. So you're. Are you an insider? You're a DC insider because you worked in the Bush administration.
I did. Yes.
The W administration.
Right.
In the White House.
Right.
Well, that is cool, kind of.
It was
So
exciting.
you went to work every day in the West Wing.
Our offices. I was in the legislative affairs team, and our
The
offices
executive
were in the
office?
in the East Wing.
Oh
of the White
yeah,
House.
we were there. Yeah, that was great.
And I felt like it was cool because most people who say they work in the White House actually work in the Eisenhower Executive Office building right across the way.
Right.
But we were in the East Wing. Mrs. Bush's offices were there as well. And so anytime I needed to go over to the West Wing or to go over to EEOB, you had to walk through the residence. And walking through the White House residence several times a day, you're going to see some amazing things. You're going to see some things that are humorous. I mean, the dogs, speaking of dogs, the Bushes had 3 different dogs when I was working there, and you can stop and pet the first dog. It's a nice little stress relief. You can see the president on a late Friday afternoon in his weekend wear with his dad coming in to see him. I mean, you just never know what you're going to see.
And that's right in the area where we were a couple of weeks ago when President Trump was kind enough to pay tribute to the Italian American community. It was right down where the red carpet comes down.
Right.
That's where they go upstairs, which I've never been, by the way. Did you ever sneak up there?
So one time I didn't sneak. I did not want to lose my job.
Yeah. Come on, let's go.
But one of the things that the president would do to sort of develop relationships with members of Congress was to do little receptions, cocktail receptions up in the residence.
Really?
Yes. So I staffed one of those because if the members are there, my whole job and my people on our team was to be with them because you don't want members of Congress with the president without having supervision, I would say. You never know what'll happen. So I was up in the residence in that yellow oval room, and there was about 12 senators there.
Wow.
The funniest thing was, at one point a senator said, "I've never been up here," and the president said, "Well, let me show you around." So he just spontaneously took 20 of us and gave us a tour through that floor. It was special.
I don't believe I met W. And honestly, and you're listening and you're watching, I'm not politically we disagreed on almost everything with W, but a good American and a very nice man.
Right, absolutely.
He's just a good, down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
You could tell you ran into him, and Barbara seemed Barbara Bush, everything, and everybody, the whole family. Look, I was never really a fan, but then you see what HW accomplished, So you're telling me they're very, very nice people, right?
Absolutely salt of the earth.
But now we're living what you describe in your book like a hyper-partisan kind of environment. Explain that. What do you mean by hyper-partisan? Just
Well, I mean, we live it. And I think part of the reason we've gotten that way is, unfortunately, social media. For all the good that it does, it's also something that people can much more anonymously sort of say whatever the worst thing is on their mind.
Yeah.
And, a lot of what people put online, if that person were sitting across from them, like you and I are, you might say it a little differently, a little more kindly.
Yeah, we try to keep it on the up and up. We're talking about, spent a lot of time on Fox News yesterday talking about put aside the divide.
Right.
We may disagree. President Obama says something about the woke, and I agreed with President Obama, thinking,
100%.
oh, you said something nice about President Obama. Yeah, but then I say Donald Trump's a rock star. Everybody, just deal with the facts. Everybody's got to calm down. But you're in a bipartisan marriage.
Right, I am. And my husband.
He's way left wing, is he?
He's actually a moderate Democrat. And when we met, he was working for Dianne Feinstein.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, this will get better for you. You're going to love it even more. So then when I went to the White House, he changed jobs and he was Chuck Schumer's chief of staff.
Oh, I bet you I met him.
You might have.
I think I met him. Yeah. And Chuck, too, I disagree with Chuck, but when you meet him, he's nice, but oh my gosh, politically, I don't understand. So I was in a bipartisan marriage.
Yeah.
It didn't last. But anyway, I wish you all the best.
It wasn't the politics, right?
I don't know. I was a moderate Democrat. There's like four of us. There were four of us, moderate Democrats. It's like, oh, it's crazy. What do you do about Thanksgiving, though? Does it get crazy at Thanksgiving?
I cook so I can stay
busy. Look at you.
I don't have to talk politics.
Yeah, you can. Listen, this is great. Name of the book is Heels in the Arena, Living Purple in a Red Blue Town. And your mom's from Jersey, you said?
She is. She grew up in Hawthorne.
Yeah, man. That's a great town up there. And then you ended up moving down to Virginia or something like that?
I ended up going to law school in D.C., so I stayed.
Where'd you go to law
A lot
school?
of people. I went to Georgetown.
God bless you, girl.
Oh.
God, no, that's great. And how do you get into the White House, too? We'll let you go, but how do you get into the White House?
Relationship and working your behind off.
Yeah,
it's a
good for you,
combination of
girl.
things.
I always say I'm a father of 3 daughters, and I appreciate what you've accomplished. So especially getting into the White House and serving the country. Thanks for your service. Heels in the Arena. It's by Jamie Brown Hantman at Living Purple in a Red Blue Town. Thanks for coming in so early. Give a hug to the doggy.
I will.
Beagles are the best. I love beagles. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for taking the time coming in. God bless.
pleasure.
Heels in the Arena is the name of the book.